Hello, stock traders. Happy New Year. I always love the beginning of the year. It is when I set my goals for the upcoming year, and I look forward to beating those goals each and every year. And working on my strategy, investing in the stock market is very rewarding, and I absolutely love it. Hopefully you do too. I have a lot to cover today. I'm going to cover how the year ended. I'm also going to do a top 7 review. So this is going to be a weekly review and how much the gain or loss was, and get a win rate and an average percentage gain for this last week. So the last week of the year, which this worked out kind of nicely to have a nice fresh week to start the new year on January 4th. So I'm also going to give you a brand new top 7. There's been some changes to the top 7 list, and I have some new insiders to talk about that I'm very excited about and think will do extremely well. So on Thursday, on New Year's Eve, if you were following the top 7 closely, you would have had a 0.14% loss. So finished with a small loss for the end of the month. Overall, a very successful month for the top 7 list, and the insiders performed very well. Month to date, if you were following this list closely and you entered and exit at the times that I started to talk about these stocks, and you had a decent entry point, you would have had a 28.45% gain for the month. That is pretty fantastic, really. If you take a look at it, anything over 20% is great. That's what I shoot for each and every month with these insiders. And so all of those were very significant, obviously, because they performed well. Personally, I had a 2.01% gain because of a new stock pick that I made in the middle of the day that performed very nicely that I'm going to talk about. Year to date, I finished 2020 with a 1,445% gain. Now, that is not typical. My previous high was 232%, and that was 2019, so that is not typical returns. I have set a goal for myself for 2021 at a 500% return, so I'm expecting great things. I know that the insiders will continue to do well. I've made some tweaks to my strategy, and I feel like those gains are very achievable. All right, so let's do the top 7 insider review. So this is all the stocks sold throughout the week. Here we go. The first one was SELB, sold for a 6.7% gain. TCON sold for an 8.4% gain. FL sold for a 1.8% gain. USIO sold for a 21.16% gain. GTYH sold for a 13.16% gain. MBIO, and so this is where we start to run into sales that happened on Thursday. Sold MBIO for a 34.6% gain. Overall, a very good pick, but it seems to be losing momentum, even though there's so many great things going on with the company. I think eventually it will bust out, but that is not part of my strategy, so I am out of it for now. We'll take a look and see if there's more insiders going forward. Then I sold TESS for an 8.43% gain, and sold YAYO for a 26.3% gain. So a really fantastic week. I had 8 stocks total that were picked, and 8 were successful. So we had a 100% win rate, which is very unusual. Average gain was a 15.07% gain per pick. So overall, very, very well, way above average. Now, in the past and over the years, this insider technique that I have with the tweaks that I've made, it performs typically at a 70% win rate. So you're going to win on 70% of these stocks typically, at least that's been my experience, is 70% of them will win, and my average gain per pick has been 3%, and this has been over a long period of time. So even with those losses, they aren't enough to affect it to where you're in the negative, and that has been the average, and I've just kind of found that to be the case. Some weeks are going to be a 50% win rate, and the other weeks are going to be a 100% win rate, like this week. You only make or lose money when you sell a stock. You cannot focus on, okay, I'm down in it right now. Well, if there was a strong catalyst and the catalyst was insider activity, the news hasn't happened yet. Insider activity is the news before the news. So if you sell early, you're cheating yourself. And I have a certain strategy that I use, and I let all of my members of my Patreon group know, and I give them a plan, and they know when an exit point is coming. I do not share that with everybody. I share that with my Patreon members. Why? I want those members to be invested. If you're really serious about investing and you're serious about following this list, then you need to be a member because you will get better entry points and exit points. It will help you to make more money. Now, you can definitely make money following this list just on YouTube. You can. These picks are explosive and there is plenty of run up on it. Just over time, you can make money on these picks. But what you need to understand understand is that not every pick is going to be successful, and I want you to be successful. And so join the group, check it out. Start off the new year with us. It's a great group of investors that are really trying to help one another. At the basic level, you get all the insider alerts, but in the standard level, there's day trading techniques and there's option techniques and there's other investors, not just me. I got my buddy John, I got my buddy Devin, and they help with a lot of the calls that are on there. And there's just a lot of really great investors who have experience who can help you along the way. And there's great picks. And so the standard level is for those that really are looking for a more aggressive style and looking for option strategies also. Anyway, looking forward to a fantastic year. Let's get to the top 7. The first one for 2021. Here we go. We have a couple extras. The first one is BNED. Now, this one has not performed well. This has been kind of frustrating. I have not exited it yet. Why? Because the insider activity was very strong. And the only reason this stock is down, I think, is a little bit of a freak out over the new coronavirus variant. And so on Thursday, this finished down 3.93%. My average in it's $5.57. Since calling this out, this has been not a great pick. It is down 16.52%. I think it's at its bottom. I really hope it's at its bottom. I don't want to sell it at its bottom. So I'm looking forward to more insider activity or for there to be a reason for that insider activity. But Zachary Levinik bought shares 2 days in a row. It was a very bullish transaction. Analysts have an average target price of $6 a share on this, and so there is some upside here. And so I'm looking forward for BNED to turn itself around and move upwards. The next is MIRM, and on Thursday this finished down 4.07%. My average in it's $18.50. Since calling this out, it is down 4.81%. So this one has not worked for us yet, but there's been a couple picks like this that haven't worked at the beginning and that have really moved up. The reason why I like it is because the CEO and the CFO both loaded shares, both did so in open market, both were positive transactions, and so I'm expecting this one to move. Analysts have a ridiculously high target on this of $49.29. That's the average analyst target. So there is proposed massive upside according to analysts. And so with the insider buying and the high analyst target, I am waiting this one out and I think it will be good. All right, number 7, now we're into our top 7, and this one could be number 1. This one has really been a strong stock for us, and that is HROW. This is HROW Health. And since calling this out, it is up 22.06%. So it's really responded to the insider activity. And on Thursday, it was up another 10.65%. My average in is $5.62. The reason I like it is because of Pele Management has been loading up shares. I've had a lot of success following a Pele Management into different transactions, and analysts have an average target price of $12.50, so there's more than 100% upside still left in this guy. And I think HROW Health is going to continue to do well on into 2021, so I'm holding. I'm expecting news. If we don't get news after a certain period of time, I will sell it, but so far so good, and it's been a great stock for us so far, so hopefully you've made money on that. Number 6 is ODT, and this is Odinate Therapeutics. This is a stock, goes to show you, this one had really strong insider activity, and we were down in it for quite a few days. Well, now that has turned around. Odinate Therapeutics has had more insider activity happen, so it continues to have insiders loading up. There has to be a reason for all of this. So this stock is really something. And so then on Thursday, this finished up 9.40%, so it's doing extremely well. My average in it's $18.16. Since calling this out, it is now up 7.32%, so it was down before, but now doing very well. But Michael Hearn, CFO, loaded big, and then Johnson Craig, director, loaded big. This has just been kind of going on, and so we have more insider activity just constantly happening. Analysts have an average target price on this of $35 a share. I think that this stock is way undervalued. That's why the insiders are loading up, and it should continue. All right, number 5 is SPLP. This is Steel Partners. Now, this is a low volume stock, which can be harder to enter and harder to exit, but I wouldn't be in it if I didn't feel strongly that it's got to move upwards coming. On Thursday, it finished down 2.01%. My average in it's $10.88. This is barely down. Since calling it out, it is down 1.16%. I think that's going to turn around. There's not a lot of sellers on this, but a director, the president, and the executive vice president bought shares in open market. It was large enough to kind of pay attention, and there are no analyst targets on this, so no one seems to be covering this. I've searched everywhere. If you know of an analyst target that I haven't seen on this, I'd sure love to know, but I searched everywhere and I couldn't find one in SPLP. But I am expecting really great things, and I love that all those insiders are going in on it, and there has been repeat repeated insider activity on this, although it's been small over the last couple of months, and so there's something brewing. All right, number 4 is PBF Logistics, and this is PBFX, and this one is brand new to list. On Thursday, it finished up 2.69%. My average in it is $9.01, and since calling this out, it is up 2.11%. The reason why I like it is because Control Mauricio de Capitales, and I probably said that completely wrong, bought shares at $8.65 a share, and so that is an institutional ownership, and it seems to be very bullish activity. Analysts have an average target price on this of $12.71, and so this is one I think will do well this next coming week into 2021. All right, number 3 is BFGC. Now this is brand new to list, and this is an OTC, so you need a certain kind of broker for this. This won't work if you have Robinhood or Webull. Unfortunately, it's not covered by those, but I have a Schwab account, and this is the reason why I have a Schwab account, so I can take advantage of these kind of things. But BFGC, that's Bullfrog Gold Corporation, and on Thursday it finished up 6.70%. This one was brand new to the list. My average in it is 31 cents, so yes, this is a cheaper penny stock. I try not to have too many of these, but this is an OTC I think is going to be explosive, and I wouldn't buy it if I didn't think so. I wouldn't put my money into it if I didn't think it was going to do well. And since calling this out is up 3.83%, called that out on our Discord, and it's doing very well. Augusta Investments loaded at 23 cents a share. With stimulus going on, I think that this one is one that's going to benefit from that, so I think that this one's going to do well. Please keep in mind that it is an OTC, so it is not governed by the SEC, which makes it a riskier type of equity, definitely, but I like the insider activity, and I think it's going to do well. Number 2 is DPW. This is DPW Holdings. This one's brand new to the list. On Thursday, it finished up 5.07%. My average in it is $4.36. Since calling this out, it is down 0.23%, so just barely. But on Friday, the CEO purchased shares at open market at $4.28, and I liked the transaction even though it was smaller. And I love the analyst target on this. Analysts have an average target price of $25.81, and there's been some little tiny insider activity happening on this over a long period of time, and so I like that too. Kind of think it's trying to fly under the radar a little bit, but DPW is one I think will do great, and there's so much upside. It's a great sector, and I think it's really going to do great. All right, number one is AIRT. So I called this out in our Discord group on Thursday, and man, did it fly up after I called it out. Man, this was a train. It was crazy. On Thursday, it finished up 22.24%, but there was a point of the day where it jumped up to 50% up, and so there was definitely a short squeeze happening. This is a low float stock, and it's got some spikeability to it that's pretty crazy, and so I kind of like those. I know they're a little riskier, but I like them. My average in it is $22.10. Since calling it out is up 12.66%. This was a tough one to get into because it did shoot up so quickly. Some of our members were able to get it right around that same range, and they're making good money on it. The CEO and a director both loaded up shares 2 days in a row, and late and after hours on Thursday, there was another director who loaded up shares. Very, very bullish, but I can't find an analyst target on this one either, but I think that this could fly. I think it could hit 40 bucks. I think that this one can hit $40. I feel very good about it, and that late insider activity made me think that. Also, there's lots of shorts. There's huge short positions on this, and man, if you got a short position open on this thing, I think you're wrong, and I think you're going to lose a lot of money because this thing is going to fly. The insider activity is very bullish. I mean, big amounts of money going into this, so I think it's really going to do well this next week. I do a lot of work for this list, so if you could please do me a favor, please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you were to share this video with your friends, I would be honored by that. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when one of these videos comes out. I wish all of you the best. Looking forward to a fantastic 2021, and Raythoven out.